You've probably heard that success is about adding good habits, but success is just as much about what you stop carrying. These bad habits, they're not just extra weight, they're worse. They demand your hands and they eat your attention, and the whole time they slow you down. Every one of these habits feels small on their own, but stacked together, they drag you down. They take strength that should be going towards your future and waste it on managing things that don't move you forward. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you the 7 habits you must drop if you want to succeed. These are real anchors I've seen holding back high performers, and they're ones I've had to cut out myself in order to stay sharp and be an elite performer. Stay with me because the last one is the most subtle and probably is the one stealing the most from you right now. Let's start by emptying this thing. Now, I didn't learn this by accident. I've spent years performing on some of the biggest stages of the world, writing books and working with high achievers who can't afford to waste energy. The habits I'm about to show you, I've seen them destroy momentum at the very highest levels. And honestly, some of them are so dumb that you'll laugh because you're probably doing them right now. But don't worry, I was too, and I still combat them and still have to remove them from my backpack. The good news is once you see them, you can't unsee them, and that means you could finally drop them. So let's start with the first one. This one here, it looks harmless, but it's a career killer in disguise. It's a habit of spending your sharpest minutes of the day on low ROI tasks. I used to do this all the time. I'd wake up before my feet hit the floor, I'd be looking at my inbox, putting out fires, scrolling social media, checking the news. Oh, that's super smart. And I told myself I'm just staying informed. I'm just being responsive. I was cashing in my best brain power on the things that didn't matter. By 9 a.m., I'd already spent the sharpest mental currency answering emails that could have waited until lunch. It's like giving your ribeye steak to the office dog and keeping the scraps for yourself. Technically, you ate, but you didn't get any stronger. The science backs this up. The first 60 to 90 minutes after waking, your brain is in what researchers call the cortisol awakening response. Your alertness spikes, memory is sharper, focus higher. Think of it as your brain's natural pre-workout. So if you burn that window, checking Slack or scrolling Instagram drama, you're cementing distraction into the most plastic part of your brain. If you use it to set direction, solve problems, or create, you're actually cementing focus. Once I stopped burning my mornings on inbox chaos, I realized half of those urgent emails didn't need me at all. One was literally a thread debating where to order lunch. I gave my sharpest brain state to a burrito. A burrito. Stop spending your sharpest minutes on low ROI tasks. Guard the first slice of your day like it's your biggest boardroom deal. Because it is. It's the deal you make with your future self. This one doesn't just weigh you down, it guts your confidence from the inside. The habit? Breaking promises to yourself. Here's the story. A few years ago, I caught myself in a cycle. I'd say, tomorrow I'm going to do that routine. Tomorrow I'm going to hit that big task. Tomorrow I'm going to lock in. Then I didn't. Nobody else knew. Nobody called me out, but I knew. And every time I broke that promise, it got easier to do it again. Until one day, I realized I didn't even believe in myself anymore. My word was strong with everyone else, but weak with myself. If you can't trust yourself in private, you'll never perform your best in public. Period. The science on this one, the psychologists call it self-integrity, the alignment between what you say and what you do. If you break that alignment enough and you erode self-efficacy, which Bandura's research shows is one of the strongest predictors of success, it's like your brain runs a quiet background check on yourself every morning. Do I trust this person? And if the answer is no, good luck building anything lasting. When I first noticed this, I laughed because I'd kept promises to strangers on the internet faster than I'd be keeping promises to myself. I'd reply to a random social media comment before I'd do the workout I told myself that I'd do. That's backwards. Stop breaking promises to yourself. Start with one. It doesn't have to be huge. It could just be as simple as no phone until I finish water. Keep that one. And then you start stacking trust. Once you believe in you, really believe in you, everything else gets easier. This one fools a lot of high achievers. The habit? Multitasking. For years, I convinced myself that I was amazing at it all. I'd be writing an email while bouncing on a Zoom call and texting someone about an upcoming show. And I told myself, look how efficient I am. I'm doing 3 things at once. But I wasn't doing 3 things at once. I was just doing 3 things badly. My focus was shredded, my stress was higher, and it always took longer than if I just do 1 thing at a time. And science has absolutely crushed this myth. A Stanford study by Clifford Nass showed that heavy multitaskers are actually worse at focusing, remembering, and even switching between the tasks than other people that do 1 thing at a time. In other words, the more you multitask, the less your brain can actually handle it. It's like installing too many apps on your phone until the calculator starts lagging. I once caught myself eating dinner, checking emails, and practicing a magic technique all at the same time. That's not multitasking. That's a cry for help. Stop multitasking. Instead, give yourself a single focus block. Even 25 minutes of undivided attention will outproduce hours of fake multitasking because you can't compound your edge if you keep scattering it. Oh, this habit here? Saying yes to everything. It feels noble, even heroic, but what it really is another way of giving away your power, 1 yes at a time. I used to be the guy who'd say yes to every event, every conversation, every favor, because I believed that more visibility meant more opportunity. More connection meant more growth. But over time, I woke up one morning so mentally drained and physically drained, I couldn't remember why I'd filled my calendar like a Tetris board. Then I missed an opportunity, one that actually mattered, because I said yes to a dozen lower valued things. And I realized every yes I gave someone else was a yes I didn't necessarily give myself. Decision fatigue is real. Roy F. Baumeister's work on ego depletion shows that self-control and decision quality suffer the more decisions we make, especially early in the day. Every small yes burns away a bit of your bandwidth. And a study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology found that after making many small decisions, people are more likely to make poorer choices. So when you say yes to small things that don't serve you, yes to every social obligation, yes to every meeting, your brain ends up being brittle, less clear, less able to make the decisions that actually move the needle. One day I said yes to a 7 a.m. networking call, yes to writing an article, and cleaning my inbox, all before I'd even planned my own work. I felt like an overbooked octopus. My arms were everywhere, but nothing was being done well. Stop saying yes by default. Start by questioning 1 yes every morning. Should this yes get my prime attention? Or is someone else's priority pretending to be mine? Ooh, this one's sneaky, and it links to number 4. And it doesn't feel destructive, but it quietly bleeds your edge dry. The habit? Working without deep focus blocks. For years, I told myself that I was productive because I was busy. Emails flying, calls booked back to back, notes scrawled everywhere. My calendar looked like confetti. But when I looked closer, I realized I wasn't moving the needle. I was juggling, not building. It all changed when I started protecting just 1 block a day for deep work. 60 minutes with no distractions, phone out of reach, notifications off. That single hour produced more than the rest of the so-called busy day combined. And I thought, if 1 focused hour beats 5 distracted ones, why have I been donating my best brain to chaos? This is how I wrote my book, The Dream Thief. I had just 2 blocks a day that I focused on writing. That enabled me to write the draft in 5 weeks. Cal Newport, in his book Deep Work, cites multiple studies showing that knowledge workers who protect undistracted time create higher quality output with less cognitive fatigue. Neuroscience backs this up. Switching tasks increases error rate and burns extra glucose, making your brain literally tired. Think of it like this: multitasking and not having that focused block of deep work is like driving in rush hour traffic. Stop and go, frustrating, energy draining. Deep work is like hitting an open highway, smooth, efficient, straight to your destination. At one point, I convinced myself I was deep working with 14 tabs open, Spotify blasting, and my phone buzzing. That's not deep work, that's performance art. Stop pretending busy equals productive. Block 1 hour for deep work. Treat it like an unbreakable meeting. Protect it like you would a $1 million client call, because it is, and the client is your future. Ooh, this habit is brutal because it feels like discipline, but it's actually self-sabotage. The habit? Neglecting recovery. For years, I wore exhaustion like a badge of honor. Late nights, early mornings, caffeine on an IV drip. I thought burning the candle at both ends proved I was serious. But eventually, my focus cracked. I'd sit at my desk and stare at the same sentence for 20 minutes. On stage, I could feel my edge slipping. And then it hit me. I wasn't outworked, I was overworked. Studies show that sleep and recovery aren't luxuries. They're performance enhancers. Matthew Walker's work, Why We Sleep, shows that even mild sleep loss reduces attention, memory, and emotional regulation. Athletes know this. Recovery is where growth happens. Muscles don't build during the workout, they build in the rest afterward. The brain works the same way. At one point, I was so tired I put my phone in the fridge and milk in my backpack. True story. That's not grit. That's stupidity dressed up as hustle. Stop neglecting recovery. Treat rest, sleep, and downtime like part of your training, not a break from it. Because high performance isn't about how much you grind. It's about how well you sustain. And recovery is the edge that most achievers are too proud to protect. This last one is tough because it hides in plain sight. The habit? Letting your environment run you. I used to tell myself I could perform anywhere. Cluttered desk, noisy room, constant interruptions. I'd say I thrive in chaos. But the truth was that chaos doesn't sharpen you, it dulls you. The more clutter around me, the more scattered my focus became. I wasn't thriving in chaos, I was tolerating it and paying the price in clarity and energy. Research from Princeton University's Neuroscience Institute showed that physical clutter competes for your attention, reducing performance and increasing stress. In short, messy space equals messy brain. And constant noise, studies from Cornell found it raises stress hormones and lowers motivation. Once I tried writing at my desk that had parts of 3 magic routines and last night's snack all on the surface. That wasn't creativity, that was archaeology. Stop letting your environment run you. Take control of your space, your inputs, your surroundings, because when you raise the standard of your environment, every other standard in your life rises with it. And at this point, these habits aren't just extra weight. They take your hands, your focus, your energy, drop them. And then suddenly, you've got your hands free for doing things that actually move you forward. These 7 habits aren't just harmless quirks, they're weights. They tie up your hands, they drain your focus, and they make you manage things that don't help you in your life. Drop them, and suddenly you've got both hands free for doing things that matter. Some of these are easier said than done. Saying no feels uncomfortable. Protecting deep work feels impossible if you've got a busy schedule. But so does carrying a shopping bag full of dumbbells everywhere you go. At some point, you've just got to put them down. You don't need to add 10 more hacks to your life. You need to stop bleeding energy on the wrong ones. Do that and you're already ahead of 95% of achievers. This is something you could start doing today. I believe in you. We'll see you next time.